Media Watch means James Creedon here, live and usually dangerous. James.
Good evening, Mark.
Big response today on Syria, I imagine, all across the internet.
That's right. Russia tells Assad to hand over control of chemical arsenal. Headlines like that were viral across the web this afternoon. It moved very, very fast. John Kerry said that there was a potential for the US perhaps, to compromise if chemical weapons were handed over. Lavrov in Russia jumped on it. The UN reacted. Cameron reacted. Syria said that they would actually follow through on what the Russians had advised, which was to essentially in line with what John Kerry had said. But some of the media are wondering, did John Kerry accidentally find a workable solution for Syria? In other words, his suggestion, Syria handing over its chemical weapons, some saw it as coming across almost as a hypothetical answer to a question that Kerry was giving, as opposed to seriously thought through policy. Others say that the way in which everything came together so seamlessly this afternoon, with all sides seeming to agree on a statement, whether or not Kerry meant it intentionally or not, would indicate that it was kind of coordinated behind the scenes, as this tweet suggests by Laura Rosen, who is a journalist. Sounds like Lavrov conveying a US list of conditions. In other words, Lavrov sort of parroted what the US had already sort of set out as requirements. That's, I think, what she's speculating. Philip Gurevich of The New Yorker also trying to analyse what is going to come out of this, how the pieces are going to fall in the end. Russia says something similar to what Kerry had said in terms of giving up chemical weapons, but this could take years to happen and serve to shore up Assad. So a lot of people are trying to analyse, where is this all going to go? Because things did move very quickly today after sort of a stalemate for a week or two now.
Indeed, lots of movement today. You've also been looking at Assad's media offensive in the US and here in France.
That's right. Let's take a look at these pictures of the interview he gave to Charlie Rose of CBS in the US. Just the same day, or the same 24-hour period that Barack Obama is giving 6 interviews to PBS and several other networks in the US. So the timing of that is very well planned from Bashar al-Assad's point of view. And this comes just a week after he gave an interview to one of France's big papers, big dailies, Le Figaro, La mise en garde d'Assad à la France, Assad's warning to France. That interview is headlined, and in fact the Élysée Palace was not at all happy about that. So it's amazing that he managed to get 2 heavyweight sort of media outfits to interview him at critical moments for both countries. Today, Obama trying to convince Congress. Last week, François Hollande, in the run-up to the G20 summit, trying to lay out his position, and the media, I suppose, not necessarily helping in either country.
It's interesting that this whole thing's being fought out on a number of levels, and of course the media being used or manipulated for each side's purposes. His own communications may have helped, but other interviews in the media may have strengthened Assad's position.
Well, that's right. There have been interviews and coverage elsewhere. For example, a Belgian hostage who was released in Syria. He's come out and spoken to Belgian media today, and that's been picked up by other media across Europe, saying that he thinks that Assad was not responsible for the chemical weapons use, that he and another Italian prisoner hostage who was also released on Sunday, both of them overheard discussions which would lead them to believe that Assad was not behind it. There was also a Bild scoop, you could say, the German newspaper on Sunday. They came out with information that a German spy boat, and I think they even have a picture of it, picked up conversations between senior army personnel in Syria, indicating that Assad had not ordered the chemical attacks. They're not ruling out in Bild that the army or that was behind those attacks, but that Assad didn't order them, according to Bild. So a lot of these interviews that are coming out in the last 24 hours, or scoops such as that one in, if it is a scoop for Bild, are supporting, I suppose, Bashar al-Assad's position. Another thing we're looking at, Mark, I think, is his online social media presence, which is more for domestic audience, I would say, often, but it shows a completely calm and composed Bashar al-Assad and his wife. And I think we have pictures of a YouTube video that was posted last month, basically showing him in a very commanding position, very rousing music. So there you go, Bashar al-Assad, I suppose, doing well in managing his media presence.
There we go. James Creedon, thank you very much indeed there for that analysis of what's happening regarding the Syria crisis online in Media Watch. Stay with us. Live from Paris continues after this very short break with another news roundup and also the latest coming out of Africa. Stay with us.